Moving on. The Lagos State Governorship Elections Tribunal, led by Justice Aru Mashom, says it is set to deliver judgment today on the petitions filed by the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Gbadebo Rhodes-Viver, and his counterpart of the People's Democratic Party, Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jandor. Now, Rhodes-Viver and Jandor are challenging the return and declaration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his Deputy Governor, Obafemi Hamzat, of the All Progressives Congress as winners of the March 18th governorship election in Lagos State by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Now, while Labour Party's Rhodes-Viver alleges that the governor was not duly elected by a majority of the lawful votes cast at the election, Mr. Adediran of the PDP demanded the disqualification of Mr. Sanwo-Olu and Mr. Rhodes-Viver in the election for non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022, as well as the guidelines of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The Labour Party's candidate is also challenging the eligibility of Mr. Hamzat to contest on grounds that he allegedly renounced his Nigerian citizenship and swore allegiance to the United States of America. Now, recall that on the 12th of August, councils adopted their final written addresses before the tribunal. And of course, this is, some of the things that a lot of Nigerians are focused on for today, to hear what exactly the tribunal ruling will be. And of course, this is, of course, in the mostly because of the previous tribunal rulings. If you look at what the Presidential Election Tribunal and the confusion and maybe a drama that it also brought in after the ruling was given. Same thing with Enugu State, and we have also heard from Kano State in the last couple of days. The very, very, for a lot of Nigerians, shocking rulings by the tribunal. I mean, maybe they expected different. So, of course, not very many people are certain, what the Lagos State Tribunal will declare today. And they're maybe also leaning on the Kano and Enugu State and the presidential to maybe give them a clue of what direction the tribunal will, go. But we'll see. Only time will tell. And of course, if you look closer at the demands by the Labour Party and the PDP, some of them, of course, would say that, it does hold some, they have some really, really strong points, and they would like to see, what the court decides. Now, at the courts this morning in Ikeja, Lagos State, where the Election Petitions Tribunal will be giving its ruling this morning. Bernard, okay, without a break. Bernard, can you hear us?
I can hear you clearly, Osarogie. Good morning to you.
Brilliant. Great that you, of course, you've gotten there to the court this morning. Tell us what's currently happening.
Well, taking a look around me, you can see definitely this is the courtroom where the Election Petition Tribunal is going to take place. It's supposed to kick off by 9 a.m. We're hoping that will happen. We've been granted permission to do this live recording before the judges come in, as the case may be. When that eventually happens, we're not sure if we will be granted permission to do this eventually. You can see around me already, there are lawyers seated in the courtroom. There are members of the press also seated in the courtroom. And there's a familiar face behind, the gentleman in white and the face cap. If our cameraman can zoom in onto him, the man by the door, that's the former Commissioner of Police, Lagos State. He is also seated here, and a couple of other familiar faces in the courtroom who are also going to, be listening or witnessing the judgment. Some noticeable things that we actually did also witness is the presence of heavy police security in and around this particular area. For those who are familiar with Ikeja and environs, just around the General Hospital in Ikeja, leading all the way down to the court premises, this heavy, very heavy police presence. And then besides that, there also are supporters of political parties. They also are supporters of political parties, particularly the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party, all aligning the streets of Ikeja leading to this particular area. So we're expecting that it's going to be an interesting court process. We're hoping that nothing goes wrong, and eventually we will be giving, whatever information that comes out of here. But for now, we're still expecting the proceedings to commence. And as I mentioned earlier, the proceedings should start by 9 a.m. Based on the information that has reached us. Okay.
Are you expecting members or the petitioners to be present, the Labour Party candidate or the PDP candidate? Is there any expectations that they will be present at the court this morning?
Well, we do not know if any of the candidates will be present here today, but we know that there will be supporters, there will be party members, and possibly representatives of these, these persons. But if they themselves will be here in person, we're not sure yet. Upon looking around the area, we haven't seen any of them on ground, and there's no sign. There hasn't been any sign of any of them. Maybe vehicles, representatives just yet. None of such. But if they do come, it will definitely make for for something good to see on screen.
Okay, well, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting day. I don't know if you've also spoken with anyone around you. Just so before we let you go, are there any expectations, for what the ruling will be?
Well, we did try to speak to a few people around, particularly the lawyers, and none of them, well, I'll say all the people we spoke to declined speaking on camera. I think it's something that has to do with, of course, legal ethics. People don't speak about, court cases or cases while they're still in court. But of course, it does seem like it's going to be quite interesting. If you look around, you see people whispering to themselves, saying things beneath their voices, so you don't exactly get to hear very loud. But again, none of them has agreed to speak to us on camera just yet. Maybe after the ruling, or maybe just before it starts, we may be able to find one or two persons who will be willing to speak on camera. We'll continue to try. But for now, nobody has obliged us just yet.
Stay, of course, in the court there. We're going to be speaking with you again when it officially kicks off. I think Tolu and myself will be here live to get feedback from the correspondent. Thanks a lot, Bernard. Looking forward to seeing the drama from today's ruling.
Thank you.
It's still a Monday morning here on Breakfast Central. Let's quickly move away from politics and see what's going on in entertainment. Sam Dandy will be stepping in right next.